What's going on, YouTube? Once again, it is Casey the GOAT for Vernon Speak Sports. We're mostly talking Auburn football and the rest of the SEC. Want to give a shout out to my fearless and true gang. Let's go ahead and get the comment section active. Go ahead and join the conversation this morning as we continue to talk about the Auburn Tigers. If you feel compelled to do so, go ahead and click the subscribe button, the bell right outside of, right up under the title of the channel. Also, if you want to get constant notifications, click the bell twice. That way, whenever Vernon Speak Sports has some conversation about Auburn football, you will be notified. You don't have to dig and find the content. We're talking a little bit over 3, maybe close to 4 months before the Auburn Tigers take on Oregon. And as a fan, this is probably one of the most brutal stretches of time between the spring game and opening kickoff. What a lot of folks like to do is they look at, say, old YouTube games of Auburn. I remember one year, like I said before, the previous video, I went on and watched like the whole 2010 season, dissected the 2013 season, constantly on media outlets, looking for some type of Auburn content. It gets real brutal, man, during this time. So if you're doing that, don't feel bad. There's a whole lot of other people doing it as well. So you don't have to feel like an Auburn stalker, because it is what it is. And as a matter of fact, it's a lot easier to stay engaged with the college football process, obviously, because of YouTube. Of course, the different outlets like 24/7 Sports keeps you updated on recruiting. You have other media outlets that keep you engaged as well. So don't feel like you're a stalker or because you're crazy. It just is what it is. College football in the Deep South is always a topic of conversation, no matter how you look at it. Chances are, if you're a SEC fan, you talk about your team in some form or fashion, even just unconsciously, every single day. Let's go ahead and get the comment section active. Like, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speaks Sports of Auburn. Also, there are a lot of other good channels I would like to promote, man. Late Kick with Josh Pate. I really enjoy his analysis. He does a lot of SEC sports. Also, of course, Mark Rogers TV and SG1 Sports, SEC, do a great job over there as well. Several others that I may have forgotten to mention. Also, if you want to go over to Facebook, All About Auburn Sports page, where you have Devin Dawson, who has changed somewhat the culture of Auburn fandom. Not a lot of negativity, not a lot of Gus bashing over there. Really like that channel. Devin Dawson and the guys over there, Scotty Boyd, Brandon Terry. If I miss Joanne Allen, if I missed you, I'm sorry. But War Eagle, very good leadership over there. I am privileged to be an admin in that particular group. Now, as we look at the schedule for Auburn Tigers, I'm not going to do a full analysis of the schedule today because we got plenty of time to do that. I'll probably start doing some of that stuff in the next couple of weeks. And, I look at the Auburn schedule and I always look for the game that scares me the most. This year is pretty hard to tell because, a lot of these teams have a lot of young guys coming back, like Florida, Texas A&M. And, the schedule seems to be pretty much well laid out for the Auburn Tigers. Not necessarily a favorable schedule for the Tigers, having to face Texas A&M and Florida on the road during that October stretch. But either way, I think these are pretty manageable games for the Auburn Tigers. I think based on some of what I saw of the Purdue game, I don't think Auburn will be caught napping in games like Kent State and Tulane this year. Obviously, Oregon is not a trap game. Auburn has all eyes on the aspiring Pac-12 team, aspiring to be Pac-12 champions this year. So when you really look at this, it's kind of hard to tell where the trap game is going to be. I feel, of course, Alabama and Georgia are not trap games by any stretch of the imagination. The game that really makes me the most nervous as of now is the game against LSU. Definitely have a lot of experience coming back. Joe Burrows gained a lot of experience, gained a lot of confidence, especially, I think it all started for Burrows even in his game against Auburn last year. He really started to come out, had an incredible game against Georgia. So if I were to say a game that, makes me the most nervous at this point outside of the obvious, which is, Oregon. I really wish we weren't playing Oregon to begin the season this year. Not because I don't think that Auburn wouldn't win the game. I just rather start out a little easy, considering you got, a first-year starting quarterback. Give you a chance to kind of ease into the season. But you're pretty much, hitting this thing head on to begin the season. You're talking Joe Burrow for the LSU Tigers, leading the Tigers to a 10-3 season. Very impressive fashion in which they beat Auburn on last season. So we're looking at a situation where Auburn will be challenged in a mighty fashion. That game is either going to be at 3:30 on CBS, or it might go back to its nostalgic time frame on ESPN. So when I look at Joe Burrows from last year, very active passing the football, 2,800 yards passing, 57.8 completion percentage, 16 touchdowns. Also, Joe Burrow was somewhat active in the run game, 399 yards, 3.1 yards per carry. Kind of kept some teams off balance last season. And, you look at LSU coming into this season, just very athletic on both sides of the football field. I really think when you really look at this particular game, LSU could be a very dangerous matchup for the Auburn Tigers this fall. Usually you can't take this team for granted. I was thinking, like, say, for instance, back in 2017 and 2018, I thought Auburn were, the better team. And they displayed that in a lot of ways. However, it just, that LSU element always comes back. They have incredible athletes, and you just can never count them out. Now, when I look at Joe Burrow, obviously a junior, he was a transfer. Also, the running back position will feature a new guy in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Leonard Fournette will also be in the mix. Wide receiver core, very, very talented. Really like Justin Jefferson and Jonathan Giles. Also Terrence Marshall as well. So this game, to me, Auburn fans, I want to know what you think in the comment section. Let's get this thing going. Also, make sure you support my man Josh Pate over at The Late Kick. Very good content on SEC Sports. He travels a lot to cover these particular football games, but I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What game do you think is not necessarily a trap game, but what game gives you the most anxiety, so to speak? When you look at that schedule, what game pops out like, oh man, holy that kind of thing, gives you that feel. All right, guys, once again, it's K-Stu the GOAT for Vernon Speaks Sports Auburn. We talk about Auburn like nobody else's business in this thing. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, Vernon Speaks Sports. Also, go ahead and like, and please get active in the comment section. If you feel compelled to do so, go ahead and join the Facebook group All About Auburn on Facebook, where we talk nothing but Auburn sports. Also got a brother group in Tiger Talk with Mike Willis. He talks about a lot of other sports Auburn related, equestrian and softball, things of that nature. Once again, we are out. War Eagle.